Hello, friends. The river carries me forward, much like Egypt's history, flowing through the ages. But today, we find ourselves nearing the last stand of a great empire. One man, a warrior king, fought desperately to keep Egypt from crumbling. Ramses III, the last great pharaoh. By the time Ramses III took the throne in 1186 BCE, Egypt was not the unstoppable force it once was. The world was changing. The mighty empires of the Near East were under siege by an unknown relentless enemy, the Sea Peoples. No one knew exactly where they came from, but they left a trail of destruction across the Mediterranean, toppling kingdoms and burning cities. And now they had their eyes set on Egypt. But Ramses III was no ordinary ruler. He was a warrior in the mold of Ramses II, determined to defend his land at any cost. The Sea Peoples launched multiple invasions, first by land and then by sea. But Ramses was prepared. He fortified Egypt's borders and led his army into battle, defeating the invaders on land before turning to the real challenge, their naval attack. The final showdown came on the waters of the Nile Delta, where Ramses lured the enemy ships into a trap. As the Sea Peoples sailed into the river, they found themselves surrounded by Egyptian archers, who rained down arrows from the shores and the decks of Egyptian boats. Chaos erupted. Their ships were destroyed, their warriors cut down, and Egypt stood victorious. Ramses had saved Egypt, but while he was a great warrior, he could not stop the slow decay creeping into his kingdom. The new kingdom was bleeding wealth, drained by constant wars, corruption, and internal struggles. The grand temples still stood, but the power behind them was fading. And then came the first recorded labor strike in history. Egypt's wealth had always flowed into its priesthood, military, and bureaucracy. But by Ramses III's later years, the treasury was running dry. When the workers building the royal tombs in Deir el-Medina stopped receiving their grain payments, they did something unthinkable. They put down their tools and staged a protest. This was the first known labor strike in human history, and it showed just how fragile Egypt's system had become. But Ramses' greatest tragedy wasn't economic collapse, it was betrayal. In his final years, he became the target of a deadly conspiracy right inside his own palace. His secondary wife, Queen Tai, wanted her son to take the throne instead of the rightful heir, so she orchestrated a plot to assassinate Ramses III. The details are murky, but ancient records suggest that the plan involved harem officials, palace servants, and even magicians. They tried to overthrow him. And while the conspiracy failed, Ramses did not survive. His mummy, examined in modern times, shows clear evidence of a deep throat wound, likely from a knife. Thus ended the reign of Egypt's last great warrior pharaoh. His successors would be weak, and the empire he had fought to protect would begin to unravel. Egypt had seen its golden age, but now the sun was beginning to set on the new kingdom. Join me next time as we witness the decline of Egypt's mighty empire.